Morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is our Friday news dump. We have all the news you need to know about before the weekend, so you don't need to worry about it. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before the show starts. We just got some iced coffee in our body, and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's get into those Friday headlines and spin that segue wheel. Today on Friday's News Dump, the ICC judges sue Trump over sanctions, call measures unlawful. And Zelensky approves a 40-day SBU operation against Russia.
Greetings, Friday News Dump. Diaper Donnie claims that he runs Venezuela, so why isn't he helping during the earthquake? And a judge orders the DOJ to release the Trumpstein files. I'm sorry, the Epstein files. Oh, well, they're the same.
Oh, my story went back into Spanish again. I mean, I can read in Spanish, but you guys don't know what that is. EU welcomes Taliban delegation in Brussels to speed up deportations. And Heartstyle Festival DEFCON 1 is canceled due to a code red in the Netherlands.
Yikes. Europe has in another heat wave, and someday air conditioning will arrive in some places. I don't know when. Plus, humans and apes have laughed the same for millions of years. Haha, we're in on the same joke.
In my culture news, Grand Theft Auto is actually coming out. That's right, pre-orders are open, but don't expect a physical copy.
It's National Take Your Dog to Work Day. I haven't heard that before. Let's see how that works out for everybody. Take your dog to work. It's June 26, 2026. 6/26/26 on Before Coffee.
Or as the Europeans say, 26/6/26, which I think is a little bit more fun.
I think it's a palindrome. No, write it down. See what you get.
Yeah, exactly. It is. Oh no, it's not, because it'd have to be. It'd have to be 62 to be a palindrome or something.
6/2/6/26. That's a palindrome, man. I'm telling you, it's a palindrome.
No, because then it would.
6 ends in 6. 6/2/6/2/6/2.
Oh, okay.
Both ways. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it ends in 2. Would have ended in 2.
It's the 26th. 6/2/6/2/6. And you go backwards. 6/2/6/2/6. It's a palindrome.
Yeah, but
I can write it
doesn't it
down
end in
for you.
6/2? Doesn't it end in 6/2 though?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
It was
What do you mean?
26
I don't know.
ends in 6/2.
Today is the 6th, right? 6 months. 6/26/26. If you write it backwards, 6/2/6/2/6. Same thing. I don't see why you see a difference. Just take the dashes out. It's 6/2/6/2/6. Backwards, it's 6/2/6/2/6. It's the same. It's a palindrome.
I just like 6 being in the
Are we
middle, I
agreed on-
suppose.
There's a 5. It's a 5-number sequence. 6 is at the beginning and the end in the middle, and there's 2s in the middle. Either way, are the second and fourth letter. That's the way the palindrome works. I don't know what the hell else to say. I feel like I'm in.
I'm just waiting for you to finish so I can spin the segue wheel.
Oh, you're waiting for you to cut me off. Okay.
What am I supposed to cut you off with? Doing this, I guess. This is my cut
I
you
don't
off.
know.
I don't have to say anything.
Yeah, spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. All right, I'll shut up. There you go. I hear the wheel. I'll shut up.
Okay. Limerick is, well, now that you know how to write palindromes, We should write some limericks.
I already know. Yeah, you all have been
I'm just saying,
educated.
because you wrote it down, you have your pen out, is what I'm trying to say.
I didn't need my pen to do it. I said I think that's a palindrome. And I did it in my head.
I thought you
4
pulled
times.
your pen out. I thought you pulled your pen out.
No.
Okay.
I didn't have a pen. I have a Sharpie.
Anyways.
And I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I had to write it down for myself.
Yes. My point is, you had to pull out your whatever writing utensil you have. Write it down.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Nope, I didn't do it until very last.
You're missing the point. The point is that you already had your pen out, whether or not you had to or didn't have to. For me, I don't care. The joke is that you already had your writing utensil out, so now you have a perfect timing to do the limerick. That was it. That was a joke. You don't have to go into the pedantics of it's a Sharpie and that you had to do it for me and not for you. And I don't care. Okay, that was
There's a limerick.
The segue.
I spun a limerick. I spun a limerick.
Yes, thank you.
Why did you just say that?
I didn't say that, but then you said, no, actually, I had to get it up for you, and this is a Sharpie. So I don't know why you had to say that either. Who cares? Al Jazeera staff is coming with this story in which they are suing Trump, which, you know, it's finally nice to take the money he does not have. Because as everyone knows,
I have no idea
Trump doesn't have any money because he's just a scam artist who gives his friends money and then loses it all in bad deals. This is from Al Jazeera in Brussels. 3 international criminal court judges. No, we're doing the story. You can just let it drop it because we're doing a story right now. 3 international criminal court judges are suing United States President and convicted felon, by the way, Donald Trump and his administration over sanctions imposed on them last year, arguing the measures were unlawful. In the lawsuit filed in the federal court in Manhattan, so it was actually filed in the U.S. on Wednesday, which Wednesday was the 24th of June, Judges Kimberly Prost of Canada, Solmi Balungi Bosa of Uganda, and Reen Adelaide Sophie Alpini Ganso. Let me say that again. Reen Adelaide Sophie Alpini Ganso of Benin, as the longest name I've ever seen, that the sanctions were designed to exert extrajudicial pressure with the objective of punishing and coercing the judges, which is, I think, what everyone's already agreed with. All of those sanctions were used to punish other countries because of whatever nilly-willy thing that they did. Oh, they didn't let me build a golfing tournament in their city, so I'm gonna give them sanctions. I don't know, I'm just making something up. The Trump administration imposed sanctions on several judges at the ICC last year in an unprecedented retaliation over the tribunal's issuance of an arrest warrant for the Israeli Prime Minister. Oh, so they're saying specifically they punished those countries because they wanted to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu for, being a global pest. And they passed a decision to open a case into alleged war crimes by U.S. troops in Afghanistan. Oh no, don't talk about those. As a result of the sanctions, the judges saw their U.S.-based property and assets blocked. The judges who were filing the case were personally attacked by the U.S., sanctioned by the U.S. U.S.-based entities were also forbidden from engaging in transactions with them, including through the provisions of funds and goods or services. The ICC, which was established in 2002, has international jurisdiction to prosecute genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes in member states or in situations is referred to by the UN Security Council. It is part of the UN, the United States. Although the ICC has jurisdiction over war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide in its 125 member countries, some nations, including the US, China, Russia, and Israel, do not recognize its authority. Well, if they don't recognize authority, they should just leave the judges alone. But instead, they decided to make it personal. During Trump's first term, his administration imposed sanctions on the ICC's top prosecutor, Fatou Bensouda, and one of her aides over the court's work on Afghanistan. The lawsuit argues that the sanctions were against the law as they exceeded the scope of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, were not based on a genuine national emergency or extraordinary threat. I might get arrested for something. I need to sanction you. The sanctions regime is designed to exert extra judicial pressure on these judges and their colleagues on the ICC bench by targeting their financial and other personal interests, with the objective of punishing them for prior judicial decisions and coercing them into prioritizing their private interests over deciding cases on the basis of the law and the facts, the lawsuit said. That sounds about right to me. Being subjected to such sanctions under IEEPA is tantamount to the financial death penalty. Due to the sanctions, judges Rosa Alapini-Ganso are no longer able, among other things, to use credit cards, access banking services, use common online platforms such as Amazon and Google, book travel, and in some cases obtain health insurance, it said. So it's not just, that they can't, they genuinely can't do a lot of things. Because they're probably blocked by Visa or something, right? And their card they use is a Visa card, so now they can't even use their credit card because they get blocked by an entire credit card company. U.S. politics, Canada's multiculturalism, automakers geopolitical rise. Oh wait, sorry, this is just the Al Jazeera talking about themselves. Yeah, that's it. I guess that's the end of the story. And then the story ended. So the story ended. So the judges were being blocked specifically by Trump, right? He was the one passing these regulations, these sanctions on the specific judges, saying, you block Bansu from being able to go on vacation. Fuck that guy. He's trying to get me for crimes. I guess that's what the lawsuit's about.
All right, let's do it. I had to roll a limerick, didn't I? Well, my pen didn't write.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, the first one too.
Where the hell is my pen? I lose a pen every day. I can't. It's been most of the morning finding it. Yeah, it's part of old age. There was once a fat orange turd. Morons worldwide reported his every word. But not a controversy in sight. It was just another gaslight as he has his grifting and sex crimes are obscured. There you are. Can't read my own writing. You want me to read it again? There once was a bad orange turd. Morons were wide reported his every word. But there was not a controversy in sight. It was just a gaslight as his sex crimes and grifting is obscured. There you go. That's a little bit better. Is there another second story?
Yes, I do have a second story.
All right, I gotta write some more.
Give me a sec. Our next story is coming out of where is it coming out of? I've lost the story. Where'd my stories go?
Okay.
Why do I have so many things open? Oh, here we go. My next story is coming out of Ukraine as Zelensky is approving a 40-day SBU operation against Russia. It's summertime, baby. That's when the war machine turns back on. This is from the Kyiv Post.
Yep.
President Vladimir Zelensky announced Thursday, which was the 25th of June, that he had approved a 40-day security service of Ukraine SBU operation aimed at increasing pressures on Russia and pushing Moscow towards ending its war against Ukraine. The decision followed a report by Maj General Yevhen Kimara on Ukraine's long-range and mid-range sanction plans, as well as the latest battlefield results on the Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, particularly its Center of Special Operations Alpha. I approved a 40-day influence operation for the service against the aggressor state aimed at compelling it to end the war, Zelensky wrote. The announcement comes as Ukraine continues to expand its use of medium and long-range strikes against Russian targets, including sites inside Russia and in Russian-occupied territories. Many of those operations have focused on Russia's oil industry, a key source of revenue and logistics for Moscow's war effort. The president praised the SBU's performance on the battlefield, noting that for several months in a row, the agency has shown the strongest results in defending Ukraine positions throughout the use of different types of drones. According to the Ukrainian leader, the SBU's Center of Special Operations, Alpha, has been leading in the number of Russian personnel and equipment neutralized on the front. Macron says the U.S. formally dropped the neutral role in Ukraine war, openly siding with Kyiv on territory, military aid, and energy and sanctions. The Alpha Unit, one of Ukraine's elite special operation formations, has played an increasingly visible role in drone warfare, as Kyiv seeks to offset Russia's manpower advantage and strike deeper into Russia's military and logistical networks. Will they actually be able to do? I mean, they've been doing it pretty successfully. I also saw a little video last night when I was scrolling before I went to bed that Lukashenko got in a little trouble with Ukraine because Zelensky said if Belarus even steps a toe into Ukraine, attacks a farmhouse in Ukraine, they will turn their drone warfare straight onto Lukashenko in retaliation. So Lukashenko actually was like, please, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to let Russia use our land to invade you. But, you know, Zelensky said if they get attacked at the border of Belarus, yeah, if they get attacked at their border with Belarus, they are going to decide to also attack Belarus. So they better make sure nobody gets attacked there. I think in the northeastern border. If they have an attack there, they're going to assume it's Belarus, right? Even if it's not actually Belarus, they're going to just say, you know what, that's enough. You're letting Russia use your land to invade us. We're done. Yeah, we're done letting you do that.
Just using your airspace is a violation, to tell you the truth.
Exactly, yeah. But I don't think they've done it recently, right? They only did it for the initial invasion. 22. They said if there's a new attack from that location, they've decided they will be attacking Belarus. So there's your little. I mean, at some point, right? This long, you've been in a war, a one-sided war. You have to start instigating stuff yourself to defend yourself. Like they say in sports, a good defense is a good offense.
You're gonna have to talk a little bit longer while I write.
I'm already talking long enough. There's nothing else for me to talk about with this story.
What's it? What's the name of that leader? Lukashenko?
For Belarus, right? It's Lukashenko. Lukashenko.
Yeah. Lukashenko. I thought it was Lavashenko or something. Lukashenko. Okay, this is going to be rushed. I won't be able to read it. I don't know why I'm rushing it. Because you got to keep talking. The silence is...
I don't know anything to say. I even added that story about Lukashenko in, and that's not even in the original story.
Okay, doesn't matter. Putin has nukes and oil. Zelensky has drones. Let's do it again. Putin has nukes and oil. Zelensky has drones with which to spoil. Russia colonialism is put Lukashenko. Wait, see, it's building a Russia's colonialism is building a metaphorical prison for Lukashenko on Belarus soil. There you
go. Hey, you got it.
Can't read what I write. I have no.
You got no good handwriting.
Rheumatoid arthritis. I used up an entire page writing 2 limericks. That's just disgusting.
The lines on the page are there for a reason.
Doesn't matter. I got to line things out. I can't. I'm no eraser. I can't. And then I got to write over it, and I can't read it. It's like this thing's a bluing.
I wasn't being serious.
One day I'm gonna find out I right this morning. It isn't a Sharpie. It's a blue ink pen. I would use a Sharpie, except it bleeds through the other side. You might as well just tear the page out.
Our next segue is hypothetical. Take it away.
Hypothetical.
Stories.
Finally, I'm reading the story. Seems like we're not doing a show for an hour already because that was labor intensive. Wow. I don't ever want to work that hard again this week. Thank you very much. No more limericks. You hit me with limericks first thing off, man. Wow.
I didn't do it. The wheel did it. It's not my fault.
I'm still going to blame.
You also get a free roll. Sorry. If you don't want to do it, you could have re-rolled. I blame you.
I suppose. That's kind of a wimpy way out, isn't it? Let's do...
What's wimpy is whining about something you succeeded in. You succeeded
I'm whining.
in making a limerick.
Who says I'm whining? I'm like, that took an hour and a half, it seemed like. I feel like I'm all stressed out for it. Trump claimed to run Venezuela after earthquakes. He's walking that back. This is from the Intercept.com. After abducting, again, don't forget this asshole did this. After abducting Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, which accomplished really nothing at all, not even a damn thing, other than killing a lot of people, Stinky the Clown declared that America would run Venezuela. When asked in January who's leading Venezuela, Trump said, "We're in charge." Yet after back-to-back earthquakes rocked multiple Venezuela cities on Wednesday, toppling scores of buildings and killing at least 188 people and injuring at least 1,500, old Diaper Donnie just merely offered assistance. "The U.S. stands ready, willing, and able to help," he said, as empty words spilled out of his pie hole. "We will be there for new and great friends." Oh, fuck yourself. One government official told the Intercept that Trump's offer doesn't go far enough since Venezuela is now a U.S. vassal state. "Don't we run that country?" the official asked. Yeah. Well, he'll be rooted out, he'll be taken to an undisclosed location and shot in the back of the head soon, this government official. "That's an obligation that exceeds friendship. Yes, you run the country, chump. That's what you said." At the same time, Venezuelan American organizations and progressive foreign policy groups are about to circulate a letter calling on Trump administration to provide massive unconditional humanitarian aid to Venezuela in the wake of 7.2 foreshock and a 7.5 magnitude earthquake, as well as the long-term economic damage from U.S. sanctions. I don't think earthquakes are going to stop being a thing. I think we're going to get some U.S. earthquakes here real soon. This is going to be probably, I don't know how this definitely works, but once earthquakes start happening, they tend to release a lot of stress and cause a lot of stress somewhere else. Plates don't stop rubbing against each other just because one earthquake happened. The organizations argue that the United States bears a unique obligation to Venezuela and the U.S., and aid must match the scale of the harm the United States has played a role in creating. This all comes after that giant orange turd suggests early in the week that the U.S. has reaped billions of dollars of Venezuelan oil wealth in the last 6 months. "Oh yeah, we love your oil, but we ain't got to help your citizens." Just your typical capitalists run amok. After ousting Maduro, Trump just told a puppet government run by former Maduro ally Delcy Rodriguez, who did not win the election. They had an election. Neither one of those people won the election. The person who won the election won the Nobel Peace Prize and gave it to Trump, which he wasn't allowed to do. And Trump still didn't say, "Hey, we're on your side." Just said, whatever. The same leadership you had before. Leave him there. We don't want to do any heavy lifting. What the hell? That sounds like work. So that's your story on stupid time we're stuck in, and the idiot that's in charge of it. For some reason, we put the dumbest person in planning in charge of our country.
I didn't do it.
There's your story. I know.
Hypothetically,
I know.
How different would the world be?
I'm saying we,
if, the racists didn't win in 2016, and they won in a lot of places. They won in the U.S. They won in the UK. They won in freaking Italy. There's a lot of places that are just going downhill.
Belarus, Turkey.
I don't really blame anything in 2016 on Russia. They were always pretty bad.
Hungary. Boris Johnson was a piece of shit. You're right.
And he's not even the one who started Brexit. It was I can't remember his name. James,
he was just.
I was gonna say James Cameron, which is a director, but I'm pretty sure his name was Cameron.
David Cameron.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson was just a clown mascot for it. Okay, so our next story is more about Well, we're going to talk about the Epstein files. That's right. The Epstein files left the news here, but we're never going to leave the news. We're never going to report on the frickin' pool. Only if I'm there in person. Maybe if I go there Sunday and I have some time.
Special Sunday episode, which is not the main podcast. There you go.
Nah, I ain't going to do a Sunday episode. I would film it. That's about it. I might do a video. That's what I
just film it
camera
and then
it.
post it.
I just want to film the National Guard. I just want to film the National Guard guarding a pool. I want to film them putting a fence up around a water that nobody is harming in any way and anywhere. That nobody's done anything to. They might take the paint chips off. Yeah, I'm not going to report on that, even though I'm talking about it. Let's do because that's a distraction from the real story, which we were talking about up until we invaded Iran. Well, first Venezuela, well, there's Greenland, there's Iran, there's Cuba, all of that shit, just to obscure you from talking about the real issue, which is the Epstein files. Rebecca Falconer has a short story. Axios, federal judge on Thursday ordered the U.S. Department of Justice to release additional unredacted, very important, Jeffrey Epstein records and explain by July 2nd why it can't. They've been in office for over a year. There's been plenty of times to get these files, redact all the innocent names. They've had no excuse. The ruling could force the DOJ to release previously withheld Epstein records or publicly explain why they remain sealed. U.S. District Judge Emmett Sullivan in D.C. gave the DOJ until July 2nd, which is tick, next week, to comply with the preliminary injunction in media. Legal analyst Katie Fang's lawsuit, love Katie Fang, alleging the department failed to comply with last year's Epstein Act. Katie Fang doing the heavy lifting that a lot of people should have been doing right away. Why is only Katie Fang doing this? The department has already released 3.5 million pages under the law, but Fang argues it's still improperly withheld or redacted additional material, not to mention that it redacted the original material it did release. And it released things that were unredacted, that were victims' names. It totally violated the law. How was nobody going to jail for this? Fang alleges in her suit against Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, the guy who gave a puppy to Ghislaine Maxwell. Don't forget that guy. Gave her a puppy. What do you do if you're Attorney General and you have a registered sex trafficker in your prison cell? You transfer to minimum security and get her a puppy because the awfulness this woman has to endure.
Something, so she has to torture a dog while she's
without a puppy.
Yeah.
So, if you molest children in Trump's America, in his opinion, granting the preliminary injunction, Sullivan noted that Fang alleges the DOJ redacted the names of senders and recipients for at least 8 email exchanges with Epstein regarding a torture video in which alleged sexual activity involving young women, including minors. Why don't we get their names, boys and girls? You're talking about a torture video that somebody made. Somebody had to have the camera, somebody had to have the film, somebody had to hire the actors. May have even been a real torture, but we don't know because it's all been redacted because Todd Blanche is a criminal. That's all they have in that administration, nothing but criminals. She accuses Blanche of redacting the names of co-defendants in the draft indictment and names of individuals identified as co-conspirators. That makes them indictable, folks. Fang also alleges that Blanche withheld 36 materials mentioning Stinky the Clown specifically. Notes from the FBI interviews about a victim who alleged that in the 1980s, when she was about 13 years old, Epstein introduced her to Trump, who in turn assaulted her. That is against the law. I don't care who you are. Assaulting anybody is against the law. It doesn't matter how old they are. 13 is definitely egregious, of course. State of play, the DOJ said of filing this month that Fang can't sue because she should have made a Freedom of Information Act request. That's complete horseshit. You don't need Freedom of Information Act to get something released that is supposed to be released under law. It is supposed to have already been released. Why would you need a Freedom of Information Act? Oh my God. The mental gymnastics these people go under. Well, she didn't file a Freedom of Information Act for that thing we were required to do by law. Wow. Crazy defense. This guy is the acting attorney general, folks. Trump has denied wrongdoing. Who cares what he says? Representatives of the DOJ did not immediately
whoever
respond
says,
to
you know
his
what, I
Thursday
did do that, and you can't arrest me, you know? Nobody's gonna fucking say
just
that.
so everybody knows.
Even him.
Let's review. Let's review before we go to your hypothetical. Richard Nixon didn't go to jail, right? Nobody went to jail for the Watergate break-in. You know who went to jail? People who covered it up went to jail. That's who went to jail. Enjoy your jail cell, Todd Blanche. I hope you get a puppy. Okay, now let's do it. Let's hope the.
Is that the end?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's a short story.
Okay.
I ain't gonna go on and drag this on forever. We already know the deal. They're covering up this Trump
right? Yeah. People need to get their head out of the sand, and I mean, this is like a classic example of exceptionalism,
Open
right?
corruption.
Oh no, somebody will get punished, not me. I'm special. I'm not doing anything wrong because I'm just following orders. You know, a lot of the people in the Nuremberg trials were just following orders too, and they went to jail. Yeah, and sadly, I wish we could live in a world where the person at the top, Hitler himself, so to say, right, was the one who was arrested and tried, but no, it's always the people under those people, right? The people on the top get away with it because they have enough people to hide in a pool in Brazil until they die of a stroke, right? Famously, I think one of the scientists that did those terrible experiments, one of the Nazi scientists, he was found dead from a stroke in a pool, in the 80s or something, right? He got away with it, but he died of a stroke.
Yeah, he lived in Argentina.
And that's why you should never be a bootlicker, because you're the first person that will be arrested and tried and put in jail or executed or whatever they determine is the court of action for your crimes. That's what it is to be a bootlicker. You're the first one to take the blame. Never be a bootlicker, guys.
The people that defend everything Trump does as if, you shouldn't break the law. Well, Trump broke the law, and he got away with it. So you can take you shouldn't break the law and shove it up your ass. Because I'm going to break the law. As a matter of fact, people get booted off social media all the time, including me. Including me for saying things far less incendiary than any Trump says on a daily basis. Yeah, it's not really that funny. Thanks a lot, Homer. Anyway, sorry.
Oh my God!
And he is being evil.
All right, that's my two stories.
Next segue. Sorry, I was about to skip the segue wheel. Haiku.
No limericks. Get those out of the way.
Haiku. Well, no, it's still good for me, to be fair. Bad pun is your segue. Actually, it's not haiku. I was chanting, hoping it would be a haiku, but it was not. Sorry. Just a bad pun.
Haiku is still easier than limerick. Yeah, it's still easier than limerick. Ain't nothing else to rhyme.
If you really wanted to do haikus properly, you'd have to talk about nature. And I'm not sure how you're going to talk about nature with my next story, which is the EU welcoming Taliban delegations into Brussels. That's right. They are making deals with the devil. Anybody who's a religious extremist, for me, is the devil. That's the actual devil. Influenced by the devil.
Yeah.
The meeting at the technical level between the Commission and 15 countries has addressed, among other things, the consular presence, according to an Afghan spokesperson. The term Anna Bouge, coming out of Brussels on La Vanguardia. It was originally in Spanish, so I apologize if some of these sentences don't make sense because I translated it to English. Europe is in such a hurry to accelerate the deportations of migrants in an irregular situation that even receives a Taliban delegation. The controversial meeting in Brussels between a delegation of the Taliban regime and representatives of the European Union took place on Tuesday, which would have been the 23rd of June in Brussels, in which, among other things, there has been talk of possible resumption of consular services for Afghans in the EU, said the spokesperson for the Taliban Foreign Ministry, Abdul Qahar Balki, who has led the Afghan delegation. The European Commission has been more cautious in confirming the meeting, specifying only that it has been organized between the community executive and Sweden, and in which 15 member states have participated. Reminder, there's 27 people in the EU, so not like a little over half have participated in this meeting with the Taliban administration. In addition to the community services and the authorities of the Taliban administration, with the will to re-establish contacts to accelerate the deportation of migrants who have committed serious crimes and pose a security threat. That first one might be factual. That second one could be anything. It could be a security threat and be deported. Because I said I don't like the current government. You know what I'm saying? So they're deporting people they don't like at this point. The 5 representatives of the Taliban regime to a place where they might get murdered, by the way. A lot of people who escaped Afghan escaped it for a reason, not just because of the war. The 5 representatives of the Taliban regime have been able to enter thanks to the visas issued yesterday by Belgium, which were only valid for 1 day and only for within the country of Belgium. The Belgian government wanted to make it clear that such visas for Afghan representatives do not allow them to move around the Schengen area. All this has caused a stir for being the first time that Brussels officially received Taliban representatives since they regained power 5 years ago, when Islamist fighters overthrew the government that had been supported by the US and NATO for 2 decades, because they also left Afghanistan finally, sadly. I do also want to make it clear that the reason that they're being so security conscious about the Taliban isn't purely racism, but because the Taliban is a terrorist organization for the longest time. They did send people to, bomb buses and areas and things in a desperate act to get them out of Afghanistan. They're like, oh, well, you guys aren't going to leave our country. We're just going to start killing people. And also the Taliban was created by who? The US and Russia. That's where they got all their guns.
Yeah, the Mujahideen.
Yeah.
Right?
Which became the Taliban
during
later.
the Afghan war,
Mm-hmm.
which was supplied by billionaire named Osama bin Laden. Yeah, right? Yeah, that's who we created Osama bin Laden.
Saudi Arabia.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Not
Saudi
even
Arabia, one of the
Afghanistan.
richest families in bin Laden's one of the richest families in Saudi Arabia. Yes, he's like the 11th of a big family. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The European Commission, which insists that it does not officially recognize the regime and that it deals with them as a de facto authority, reiterates the objective is to deport to Afghanistan the people who represent a security threat and criminals who have committed serious violations, according to an EU spokesman, Marcus Lammert. We are not going to recognize the regime, but I think it's important to talk to them about these issues, Interior Commissioner Magnus Brunner said a few days ago. Brussels also argues that the meeting is a continuation of another technical debate that began in January of this year in Kabul, in particular with regard to the identification of returnees, the issuance of travel documents, and their return. Instead, Afghan headlines have held conversations about confidence building and effective presence and ways to solve the problems for Afghans who applied for asylum in Europe. That's Qahir al-Balkhi. So they're not there to target criminals. They're there to target anybody who ran away to Afghanistan so they could get their population back. Hey, you need to come back here so we can kill you. This journey is expected to open a new avenue for positive interaction, strengthen the process of addressing the problems of Afghans living abroad. The problem of Afghans living abroad. Hey, you belong here in our country. You're not allowed to go anywhere else.
How's that a problem?
Man. The Earth belongs to all of us, by the way, so Afghans can go to whatever country they want to go to.
Have you looked at Afghanistan's climate? I mean, how could you go to a nice temperate place and want to go back to that? I'm just saying. I mean, oh my God, they have trees and water. Holy fucking
in my mouth all the time.
I miss that one day it rains. Right? One day it rains in October every year. That's
sadly because of the war in
anyway.
Afghanistan, right? And the just disarray and chaos, right? Their infrastructure is terrible, and there's so many things, right? There's so many things that are bad there.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of resources. They have a pipeline that runs through it, and they have a. At least they used to have a large opium poppy.
Which unfortunately
industry,
cannot feed
right?
people. Doesn't feed people, doesn't give them water, and doesn't give them shelter.
It could.
No, I mean in like a literal way, not in a metaphorical way.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue the story because
I mean in a literal way it could. It could help with the economy, right? If the people that were selling the heroin and opium poppies and stuff were helping the local communities. I mean,
yeah, maybe.
Even Pablo Escobar was very popular.
Yeah, I
believe
was
it or not.
going to mention that.
Anyway,
Yeah, he was very nice to his local community. Either way,
right.
According to Quirky, the Afghans are looking to expand their space of cooperation on mutual respect and shared benefits. The delegation's leader said, it's unknown which community technicians have participated in talks, but the most normal thing would be that, this paragraph got cut off by my translator. It just says that some D, and it just says D. Oh no, it got cut off in the original article too. Whoops, somebody deleted the paragraph in the article.
How?
Either way, I think they're probably going to say something like the most normal thing would be that the delegation will probably just say, hey, we want our people back. And then they say, well, you can have these criminals back, but we can't give your asylum seekers back. They're seeking asylum and they got accepted for seeking asylum for a reason. It all started in October last year when ministers from a score of countries called the European Commission to coordinate a series of contacts to help them repatriate several individuals without the right to remain in the EU and who pose a security threat for a series of serious crimes they have committed. Deporting them, however, is difficult because of the lack of diplomatic relations and established office channels. They're like, who do we talk to say, hey, we're sending this guy over, he did crimes. Try that guy, maybe? I think he's the one in charge of that. We don't know. So now that they've established channels, maybe they can send the supposed criminals. I don't know if they're actually criminals because I'm a bit cynical about Western countries saying this guy's a criminal.
Everybody who wants to live here legally. Everybody wants to live in your country illegal. Yeah. Oh my God! What color is his skin? What did he do? What law did he break? What?
Yeah,
What?
he stole a piece of bread. I mean, they do that in France. Lamerch therefore argues that this is an opportunity for member states, and in particular on the technical level, to establish contacts with Afghanistan, since it will be those member states that will have to carry out those returns. The list of countries that have joined the talks is not public, but in addition to Sweden, representatives at the technical level of Belgium or Denmark have been present, three of the most favorable governments to tighten the policy of returns to Europe. Yes. Sweden and Denmark are famous for being very angry that there's brown people living in their country and wanting to have halal food. Germany, which began repatriating Afghans with criminal records 2 years ago, has not sent anyone, but has blessed this initiative of the Commission. However, the meeting has generated a great cry, both among progressive MEPs. About 30 of them wrote a letter calling on Belgium to deny them entry, and in human rights organizations. EU countries undermine their credibility by condemning, on the one hand, the abuses committed by the Taliban and demanding that their perpetrators be held accountable, while on the other hand, they cooperate with the Taliban and force returns, Human Rights Watch said. Very critical has been the Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai, a young Pakistani activist whom the Taliban tried to assassinate for defending girls' education. Reading women! Oh no, they might be smarter than us and make us feel bad. Malala argues that any contact must begin and end with the rights of women and girls. A matter that everyone points out has not been addressed in Brussels, and has announced that Europe should not legitimize the regime that, through a gendered apartheid, has erased women and girls from public life. Good luck having a population when you don't have any women. Europe takes a new step just a week after European Parliament approved the controversial return regulation that allows EU countries to build migrant deportation centers outside the EU, following the example of Giorgia Meloni in Albania. There are already countries that go further. They call on the Commission to finance the creation of these infrastructures with European funds. Well, I don't want my taxes going towards this stuff, so they can fuck right off. I do pay taxes. I have somewhere here. I pay taxes in Europe, okay? And I don't want it going towards this bullshit Oh, we need a tea party for Taliban so we can tell them,
Bah.
stop being mean to women. Take our criminals, please. If they're gonna make any return deals, they need to make some return deals back. That's what I say. Oh, you want your people back, do you? How about you let women learn and go to school? We'll give you all the people you want back. You're welcome.
Yeah, we should never. We should just let them be. Although, once we interfered, we shouldn't have backed off, right? Because that's what really happened in Afghanistan. We helped them defeat the Soviet Union, and then when that was over, we said bye. And then they had nothing left but the Taliban to take care of them. All right, so you're my pun. I guess you're done, right?
That's it.
Pun time. We can try. Don't try to Taliban me for this, but this problem will continue to sprout up even in Brussels. There's your pun.
A double. That's a
Well,
double
it's-
pun.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Is that the last story? Can I get some quick stories? Quick stories, so we can wrap it up. Go to weekend.
My next story is a quick story. I do have 2 stories here.
Oh, you do. Oh boy.
Yep. But this
You're
one's really
like,
quick. This one's really quick.
Great.
In
better have a
festival
fun.
news, and this relates to your next story about the European heat wave, Heartstyle
Okay.
Festival DEFCON 1 has been cancelled due to the code red. Heartstyle Festival DEFCON, this is on the NOS, a Dutch newspaper. The Heartstyle Festival DEFCON 1 in Biddinghausen has ended prematurely. All visitors are informed by the organization at midnight they must leave the campsite during the day. The decision also led to some unrest during the night. The measure was taken because of the code red that was promulgated by the KNMI, which is the Dutch National Weather Service. The highest weather warning that also applies to Flevoland. The organization has previously decided to allow fewer visitors. Now there's a streak through the entire festival weekend. Don't come here, it's cancelled. At some point, you come to a tipping point with regard to the safety of their visitors and employees. Code red is that without a doubt, said director Sander Bijlstra of organizer Q Dance to the ANP news agency. The festival was really going to start today, after the campsite had already opened on Thursday, the 25th of June. Normally, DEFCON 1 pulls more than 72,000 visitors per day. In a post on Instagram, the organization writes that at the moment, there are tens of thousands of people in the campsite. In the coming day, the campsite will still remain open, as will essential amenities, so that people can arrange their return journey. We encourage you to rest and prepare for tomorrow's journey. Furthermore, organizers Q Dance say that all visitors are compensated. More will be announced after the weekend. We are absolutely devastated by this. Last night, many festival goers were already taken to their cars by buses. Police were present. There were also confrontation between visitors and security guards. Images circulating on social media show that dozens of festival goers are trying to get to the main stage. I'm here to see the festival. There's nobody on stage, bro. They're not even here. They also got canceled. Visitors expressed their dissatisfaction on social media about the reason for the cancellation. Some international visitors say they are used to these high temperatures and find that no reason to cancel the festival. Okay, well then you can go die of heat stroke and everyone else will be safely at home.
Do they all just
people on
stand in the
stage-
sun all day? And just,
Yeah, I mean the people on stage are going to be standing in the sun all day. That's what stages are.
Yeah, well,
So
they have liquid refreshment, do they not?
it's. I mean they just.
Well, how hot
it's
is it
dangerous.
really? How hot is it?
I don't know. For
If
here,
it's not
like I
hot-
said here, it's
if it's not
32
hot-
degrees.
And that
It's
means
32 degrees
what
with
in
80%
Fahrenheit?
humidity. I don't know.
I'm telling me that isn't
People
helpful.
are. I'm just saying.
I don't
People
do
are.
automotive oil.
The humidity is so high that they don't. You can't sweat.
Yeah, I live in Maryland.
how
I'm
hot it
talking about
is.
humidity, man. Maryland's
Yeah,
got
I
humidity.
also grew up in
what's
Maryland.
32 degrees? What's 32 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
I just really don't want to play this game of. Well, I don't think it's a problem. I live in the same
Yeah.
temperature and it's fine. I really don't want to have this argument.
Why do you think when I say something, it's a game? It's not a game. I just ask a question. I don't want to know the formula. Just tell me, jerk off. Why don't you just tell me? Just tell me. He doesn't tell me at any time.
Yep.
My lord.
AI. You would have been better off just putting it into doing the math yourself.
Dude, just tell me what it means. What does 32 degrees convert to?
Eric says it's 90 Fahrenheit because he's not an AI bot,
89.
so he can just do it himself.
89.6. Holy crap. I didn't ask for the formula. I didn't want to hear your extent of your knowledge. I realize you have a database, you bastard. Good lord. Okay, thanks.
Still going,
hey,
too.
Thanks. Won't shut up now. Yeah, he's still talking. He still wants to tell me how smart he is.
When it's 90 Fahrenheit and filled with 80% humidity, it's 90 Fahrenheit, but feels like 107.
I wouldn't recommend standing outside, but I'm like, don't they have like shade or these little misty machines that blow water on the crowd or whatever? Any of that stuff? That's not an investment they decided to make when they scheduled
that stuff, but they decide it's too dangerous still because they can't trust people to not be idiots.
Hello, this is the concert scheduling people. When should we schedule a concert? Let's schedule it. Let's schedule it. You gotta say schedule. Let's schedule it for the middle of summer solstice. Let's do that. Do you think it's gonna be hot? Hot in June? Never heard of such a thing.
Hello, Eric. Thank you for your rotted acorn. I'm sorry you don't get an acorn today because it's all rotted.
Could you imagine them canceling Burning Man or the Coachella for? Oh, it's too hot. Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
It's their. I mean, they're the ones losing money on it, so I don't feel bad for them because they're already taking the consequence.
Oh, the tragedy would be people dying, not canceling a concert. But
yeah.
I guess I gotta
sadly,
do
and that's a point that everyone has to remember, right? Whereas in Coachella, right, isn't that in Nevada or something? Where is it? Arizona?
No, it's in Indio, California. California.
So it's in California.
Okay,
so South California, I'm assuming, closer to the equator.
Right outside Los Angeles. Outside Los Angeles. You just drive 50 miles in the desert, and there you are.
So I think, and I'm not saying this to you, I'm saying this to other people who don't understand how the globe works, because I know you know how the globe works. The latitude of the Netherlands is in Canada. The sun goes down at 11:30 or something. So they're in California, right? At some point, the sun will go down. Yeah, at some point, the sun will go down in California and it will cool down, right? Even if it's hot all day, right? It'll cool down because the sun won't be up. Here, the sun is just up, and then it goes down for like 4 hours, and then it's back again. So that gives the ground, the air, everything no time to cool off. So these people, I'm just saying, it must be really frustrating because they don't even get a break from the sun.
Unfortunately,
you're going to a festival that's outside. It is. Yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
I understand what you're saying. Like I said, I'm not explaining it to you. I'm explaining it to other people who don't understand.
I will say this. I will say this. It does not cool off in the high desert in the nighttime. I lived there for a year. It does not cool off. It's 99 in the middle of the night. 5 in the morning, it's 99. It does not cool off. But it's a dry heat. It's a dry heat. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with you, but I guess I was only 8 when I moved away from the desert. So.
You never lived in that high desert. You never lived in the Mojave Desert. I did. I lived there for 9 years. It never cools off. It never cools
deserts
off.
Famously got really cold at night, and then everything turns to ice.
29 pounds, California, driving home on Sunday night.
Yeah, maybe it's just I go to
the Mojave Desert in California, which is a high desert, high elevation. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Maybe that.
Either way, I would go to Los Angeles, which is on the coast and nice and cool in the mornings at least. On the weekends, I come back on Sunday, actually it'd be Monday morning, about 4 a.m. I would get back to base. And the bank clock in town, when I get into town with 29 palms, would say 101 degrees at 4 in the morning. It might cool off because it was 120 during the day, but that cooling off is really, it's like, blue on black. Blue on black, tears on a river, push on a shove. It don't mean much. Match on a fire.
I just wanted to quickly look this up because I actually don't know anything about this. And actually, they do use
dead
Palm
man's
Springs
touch.
and Joshua Tree as an example of high versus low desert. So,
Yeah, Joshua
so
Tree is right.
here it says in low
229.
deserts, which includes Palm Springs, Palm Desert, Coachella Valley, which is all part of the Colorado Desert. You get warm temperatures year-round, unique desert flora, sweeping and washing epic mountain backdrops, and iconic wind turbines. That's the difference.
You're off the track.
There's a lot of wind, it sounds like. Heading north, you'll enter high desert, which is like Joshua Tree National Park, where you get a lot of rock gardens, and you get a lot of changes dramatically with elevation. So,
right. And
the Mojave is what does it say here?
No clouds in sight. You will never see a cloud.
Yeah.
There's not a cloud. Every once in a while, some places you get a cloud.
It does say here. It does say here that Mojave deserts are supposed to. Yeah, it does say here that the Mojave should have cooler temps year round, whereas Palm Springs is just hotter and drier year round. But I don't know. Yeah, I accept your anecdotal evidence because I don't have any evidence. I've never lived there.
All I know is I got up to go to formation at 5:30 in the morning, and the sun was already in the middle of the sky. And it stayed there all day. How is that possible?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it seemed like it every day.
The problem here is that the sun's in the sky at like maybe 5 a.m. and then until 10:30 or something. We went for a walk last night, and it was the road was still hot. And we went for a walk at 1 a.m. or something, and the road was still hot. Couldn't take your shoes off. What to say?
Yep. Store that up for the winter. My pun is, I did have a pun. Oh, you aren't done? I did have a pun. They were running people away from their buses, you say, right? Were they double Dutch buses by any chance?
They were going Dutch, too. Everyone had to pay for the ticket.
Double Dutch bus. That's the stacked
Dutch
bus, right? That's a stacked bus. I don't know if that's a Dutch bus or just a British bus.
I've never seen it. I've never seen that in the Netherlands in my life. It's definitely a British thing.
I wonder why it's called a Dutch bus. Now I gotta figure. I know it's a jump rope thing. Double Dutch bus.
I've never heard it called that, so I have no idea.
You never heard double Dutch bus? Jump rope. That was a jump rope thing when I was a kid. What did we
here with the
spend?
Associate is our next segue. Eric here with the desert knowledge as well. Yeah, I mean, last time I lived in the desert, I was a child, so I can't really, my brain just isn't. Your brain acts differently when you're an adult. So you understand things differently. I'm sure you remember a lot of it, but you don't remember the oppressive heat because you probably spend a lot of time inside. And once you get inside, remember the heat being oppressive. I remember being very enjoyable, but I think my body is just genetically created for desert. So.
Do you remember getting out of the swimming pool and instantly freezing, even though it's 100 degrees outside?
I don't remember doing
because that water evaporates so fast. Europe's severe. We're going to talk about Europe's severe heat waves. What we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
That's
so
what we're going to do.
We just talked about how they had to cancel a festival, and we're actually going to talk about.
We might as well talk about it again. So we're.
Yeah.
We're going to cover the story. Europe's record heat wave in the month of June would have been virtually impossible. This is what science says. It is caused by. It is definitely caused by our climate totally changing, and we need to stop ignoring that fact and stop going, hey, humans are contributing to it, and it's irrelevant at this point. Why should we continue to contribute? It should be the question.
And also, why aren't the governments changing infrastructure if they know the temperatures are going to get higher and higher every year?
Well, luckily for us, we're burning less fossil fuels, so that's good. Europe's severe June heat wave virtually impossible. 50 years ago, climate scientist says your record heat wave. Let's get to the meat of the story. Human-caused climate change is unequivocally responsible for the intensity of record-breaking heat wave scorching Europe. Scientists said Friday. This is according to France24.com. And the article is written by a guy named France24. Oh, good for him. The website's named after him. A similar heat wave would have been 35. I'm not 35. That would have been really something. 3.5 degrees Celsius cooler. And if you don't know what Celsius is, it is roughly 5/9 of, just put 5/9 into a formula because do that conversion. But 3.5 degrees Celsius converted to Fahrenheit is a lot. That's a big jump. It's like, what is that? About almost double, right? It's almost, it's going to be like 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Anyway, a similar heat wave would have been 3.5 degrees Celsius cooler during the day in June in 1976, which is 50 years ago. Hard to believe. The other day, somebody said, we were in Vietnam 50 years ago. No, we weren't. We were out of Vietnam by then. A similar heat wave would have been, anyway, but the world is hotter today. The chance of heat wave like this has changed immensely. And the study's lead author, Theodore Keeping, that's his name. Theodore Keeping, his last name is Keeping, traditional spelling, from Imperial College London. The event would have not been possible in June without climate change, he kept telling reporters. The planet is warmed about 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial times, driven by the burning of oil, coal, and gas. Scientists agree that this is making extreme weather events like heat waves more frequent and intense, and limiting warnings are vital to avoid the worst impacts of climate change. Everybody get inside, rehydrate. As the heat wave is still unfolding, scientists used observed and forecast temperatures to compare the heat wave against how it might have been behaved in cooler climates of 23 years ago and 1976. Even compared to 2003, when tens of thousands of people died in major European heat wave, the current episode was notably extreme, the authors said. The similarity between 03 and would have been 2 degrees cooler. The similar heat wave in 2023 would have been 2 degrees cooler, the study said. That's a big deal. In 2003, daytime heat like this would still have been very rare, while overnight temperatures would have been more than 100 times less likely. Our analysis here shows that intense heat is increasing rapidly, even in living memory, with such events tens of hundreds of times more likely since only 2003, virtually impossible just 50 years ago. Climate change is unequivocally to blame. The El Nino weather pattern, again, we just throw these names out there and expect people to know what the fuck they mean. I don't know what that means. I don't think anybody does. The El Nino weather pattern, a natural warming climate phase, had no role in driving the heat, the author said. And we don't even know what El Nino is and if it's a regular cycle. We just gave it a name. I've always been suspicious of that whole thing about El Nino, La Nina, this is a regular thing. It's not a regular thing, and it's not predictable. But we do this. Also signaled out a threat of heat stress posed by a combination of heat temperatures and humidity. Heat stress occurs when the body's natural cooling systems are overall, causing symptoms ranging from dizziness and headaches to organ failure and death. Yes, you have sweated out all of your body's liquids and you don't even know it. And you just die. Of the 850 cities of Europe analyzed in the study, some 45% have broken or are expected to break their all-time heat stress records by June, the study said. This article does not include any advice about how to deal with heat. I guess they don't think it's their job to tell you. Get some shade. Don't stand in the sun like an idiot. Don't, what do you want? Golly, if you see somebody standing in the sun, maybe take them out of the sun. Don't leave your dogs in the car. That's another one.
Or
don't leave your
children.
kids in the car. Usually your kids can figure out how to get out of a fucking car. Your dog can't, right? I don't think anybody puts their cat in the car. The cat would just eat you alive if you ever did it to him once, probably. I don't know. That car, what's wrong with you? My fur ball. Anyway, it's terrible. Take care of yourself. Your body can only cool itself for so long. It needs some artificial means. So let's have a story before I get on to the next little short, what's supposed to be a short story.
Well, my associate is, I guess, ways you can cool yourself off is during the nighttime, the 4-hour nighttime that you get anyways. Open your windows. Get a fan or something. Use your hands. Use a giant piece of paper and get all the hot air out of your house. So that's especially at the top of your house, because heat rises, right? So open the windows and just get out of here. Get all that humid air out. Anything. I mean, fans and have gotten completely off.
If you don't have an air conditioner and you have a freezer, right? If you don't have an air conditioner and you have a freezer and you have like empty bottles anywhere, fill bottles full of water, freeze them in your freezer overnight. Do this every night the rest of the summer. Freeze them in the freezer. Take them out in the morning, put them by the fan, stand in front of the fan all day, or sit in front of the fan all day. Just do that.
And hug a bottle of ice. Yeah, just hug a bottle of ice. Keep your core cool, because that is what causes heat stroke. Your hot head and your hot core. So
and install a little drip, like a little drip on your head with an ice block, right? Drips on your head. There you go.
Put a block on a net. Yeah. But that's what I advise.
Sounds like the Chinese water park. That sounds like the Chinese water park.
I have an AC in my room, right? But Robert doesn't have an AC in his room, so that's what he's been doing. He has 2 windows on each side of the room, east to west, and then he has basically an air tunnel going through his room all day, just from one side of the house to the other, just blowing air through his room. So it's actually very cool up there.
I would just go down.
He's an addict.
I would be downstairs.
It's cooler in his room right now than it is in the hallway next to his room. Where the washer and dryer.
You have to block out all light too. You have to block out the light. The dryer. If you got a dryer, forget that. Don't even turn it on. Just put your shit outside.
Next story.
Yeah. So we're doing the next story. If you ever wonder where the word aping came. We know what the word aping means, right? It means to imitate somebody. It probably comes from apes imitating our laugh, maybe, perhaps. Or maybe us imitating the apes' laugh. We don't know where these terms come from necessarily. It might have come from Shakespeare, but Shakespeare had to get it from somewhere. ScienceAlert.com, humans and apes have laughed the same way for millions of years, studies suggest. So are we aping the apes, or are the apes aping us? Humans and great apes have been giggling, Associated Press. Humans and great apes have been giggling in similar ways since branching off the evolutionary tree, a new study suggests. How do we know this? Researchers they tricked them, right? Researchers tickled 13 captive apes. Yeah, I want to volunteer for the study where you tickle apes. That's all I want to do. I just want to be part of that study. Anyway, including gorillas, orangutans, chimpanzees, and bonobos, and recorded the results. The research examined those decades-old recordings and compared them with newly captured giggles of 4 young children while they were being tickled and playing at home. It turns out that the chuckles of humans and great apes follow similar rhythms, and while a uniting thread that likely reflects their ties to common ancestor, researchers said. Yeah, we like the same shit. We like to be tickled. In a way, we are very similar to other great apes because we've been laughing in a similar way for 15 million years. And study author Chiara Di Gregorio, a primatologist at the University of Warwick in England. Or is it Warwick? I think it's Warwick. They don't pronounce that second W. Warwick. Correct me if I'm wrong, British people. Laughter communicates playful, happy feeling without using words. Many animals can laugh too, but the giggles don't follow human patterns as closely. The researchers tickle rats, for example. They respond with ultrasonic squeaks. Ever tickle your rats? Scientists trying to uncover... and then they had ultrasonic squeaks you probably couldn't hear because they're ultrasonic. Scientists tried to uncover how laughter evolved and have picked apart animals' facial expressions, but less work has been done on how laughs sound. And compared with apes, human laughter has become faster and more complex. For one, our laughs sound different based on context, from a polite chuckle among colleagues to a full-body guffaw with close friends. A tickle laugh is different. It's uncontrollable. These giggles evoke the best suit animals' different social lives. Just do that sentence again. These giggles evolve to best suit animals' different social lives, says Brittany Florkowitz, who studies animal communication, is at knowledge and had no role in the research. She said the study's findings make sense and point to a need for more investigation. Florkowitz said she would like to hear comparable recordings of other animals with playful facial expressions like dogs, horses, cats. Can tell us more about how laughter evolves so we can understand what makes us uniquely human, but also it's similar between humans and other animals. Studying the origins of laughter may seem corny, not to me, but it's one aspect of human communication that can help us understand others, including how we learn to speak. Because sounds don't fossilize, scientists are using the evidence we have to trace things back, one chuckle at a time. So there you go. Apes laugh just like us. Just like us. They get the same jokes we get, obviously. Tell a joke, see what they do. And then when they don't laugh, you got to go. Tell a joke to an ape. If he doesn't laugh, just say, you had to be there. That's your story. You had to be there.
All right. Well, I associate this with the idea, right, that humans and animals are the same, not so different after all. We just speak different languages, whether it be different body languages, actual, noise and grunts and stuff. I mean, if you've owned a cat and a dog, you can see those languages right there, right? Cats have a totally different language than dogs.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they get confused when they try to communicate with each other, and that's why dogs and cats don't get along. They have different languages. And you can also see if you raise a dog with a cat mom, or you raise a cat with a dog mom, right? They'll reproduce that behavior. You'll have a cat that wags its tail and pants, and then you have a dog that likes to climb up furniture or something and scratch posts, even though it doesn't need to scratch posts. It's a dog. They have totally different nails.
Right.
But that's what I associate this with.
Yeah. And I think dogs laugh by wagging their tail. I think that's how they laugh. I think that's their laugh. I don't know how cats laugh. No idea.
They bark. I thought barking was one of their things.
Dogs are capable of uncontrollable enthusiasm that cats cannot do. They just can't do it. Dogs lose their fucking mind when you come home. They lose their fucking mind. They climb the walls. They don't even know what to do with themselves. They want to hug you. They want to kiss you. They want to lick your face. They want to eat you. They just don't even know what the fuck to do. They're so goddamn happy. Cat's like, man, the human's home. I hope he feeds me. So yeah, it's totally different. Totally different vibe, right? That's we can do the dogs and
it's because
cats
we don't know the
things
language,
rough rails. I do believe I can figure out what a dog wants. I can figure out what a dog wants. No idea what a cat.
Cat's reaction to or laughing is when you try to tickle their tummy and then they attack you. Oh, there you go. That's their.
There's two cats in this house. I know what one of them is thinking all the time. One of them is thinking tummy rubs 24/7 because as soon as Rocky sees anybody, he runs up there or runs right to your leg and wants tummy rubs. In fact, he just lays right down on his back immediately.
Maybe he was raised by a dog.
He was raised by us. Totally supplicant cat. Just totally, I don't care what you do to me. I'm laying on my back. But the other cat just takes off like a shot. Doesn't even care what you're doing or whatever. Feed me. I don't care about you at all. Anyway. Cats have personalities, but you don't know when they're happy. You don't. Your dog, you do know when it's happy. It's wagging its tail.
I know when I knew when my cat was happy. But
okay.
I think she was very. I think you just it's a different language, and you just didn't learn the language of one cat. Maybe. That's
right. It's so much easier to interpret a dog than a cat. Is all I'm saying.
I mean, we had them longer, right? We had them since before we were farming.
The reasons are multiple.
Millennia ago.
But, dogs just have different personalities. And I'm just saying, it's easier to identify. All right, so let's have a story about my...
Segue is a mixed metaphor.
Oh, wow. God, it was only my second story. Holy crap.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I was pretty sure that was your last one, yeah. Our
yeah,
culture news. We're going to talk about the finality that is GTA 6. For any video game enjoyers out there, this game has been bragging about coming out for 20 years at this point, and people have even started making jokes. This happened before GTA 6 was released, you know? Trump is gonna get arrested and put in prison before Grand Theft Auto 6 is gonna be released. That's the joke, I guess. An example.
He'll be dead before that happens.
Sadly, that might not be the case because it sounds like the pre-orders are going out. This is from Keith Stewart on The Guardian. It is quite simply the most anticipated piece of entertainment since the Star Wars prequels, and now, at last, you can reserve a copy. At midnight last night, which would have been, I think, the 25th of June, Rockstar opened pre-orders on Grand Theft Auto 6, the latest title in the epic open-world gangster adventure series. I want to call it epic, but sure. 5 months before its 19th of November release date, which is going to be on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Another reason I don't care about it, because it's not even out on PC, which is what I play. Prices have also been confirmed, with the standard edition costing $80 in the US. Price inflation is here to stay, people. £70 in the UK and 80 euros in Europe, which is like totally unfair because the euro and the USD are not on the same price level. And it's cheaper in the UK, interesting. The Ultimate Edition will be £90 or $100/euros with it, and will include exclusive in-game cars, clothes, and weapons. The developer has confirmed that there will also be in-game stores that are only opened. Oh my god. There's going to be a store that are only available to you if you have the Ultimate Edition. So if you want to buy stuff in the game, you have to buy the Ultimate Edition because you can't go to the stores otherwise. Anyone who pre-orders the game will get a vintage Vice City pack filled with 80s apparel and other nostalgic items, which look to be straight out of Don Johnson's Miami Vice wardrobe. Reminder, the game is happening in Miami. Notably, there will be no physical discs available for the game, at least at launch. Anyone who buys a copy in a shop will find a download code in the box. It's likely that this is partly to prevent players getting hold of the box copies before the release date and streaming content online. Video game news sites VGC also suggested that the lack of manufacturing costs will allow parent company Take-Two Interactive to maximize revenue on development costs that some have estimated to be as high as $1.5 billion. I'm not surprised, they've been working on this game for a very long time. Another element missing from the game at launch will be the modern update of GTA Online, the hugely successful multiplayer online version of Grand Theft Auto, which was incredibly buggy, frustrating, and not enjoyable to play at all, for me. You would get people cheating and shooting you and killing you all the time, and you can't get anything done. There's people out there who enjoy that. I did not enjoy it, so personally for me, I hope they improve that. It premiered a month after Grand Theft Auto 5 in October of 2013. Rockstar recently confirmed that at launch, GTA 6 would be a single-player experience. Despite these omissions, GTA 6 is expected to be a blockbuster launch, dwarfing the box office takings. Losing my voice. Dwarfing the box office takings of the year's biggest movies. Analysts are predicting sales of 40 million units in its first year, in comparison to Grand Theft Auto 5's 32.5 million. That game also has sold over 230 million worldwide since it came out over the last 13 years. The game returns to the series to the fictional U.S. state of Leonida, based on Florida, and features a new version of fan-favorite location Vice City, the hive of colorful drug dealers and corrupt politicians. Billed as a romantic crime drama, lead character Jason Duval and Lucia Caminos are career criminals looking to escape their dangerous lives and go legit. It's doubtful that this will go as planned. The route to release has not been entirely smooth for the game. Multiple launch delays and several apparent gameplay leaks have beset production and marketing plans. Rockstar is also facing legal action for firing 30 employees who claimed they were targeted for attempting to unionize. Wow, that's great news for Rockstar. But with other major game... Yeah, no, they're probably overworked in the sweatshop. But with other major game publishers clearing the weeks around the title's release, and with pre-orders alone predicted by industry analyst Tom Henderson to earn $1 billion within an hour, the hype is very much on an upward trajectory. So there's your news. on your gaming news. It's finally happening, guys. For anybody who's excited, anyway. I'm not excited, but you know, I know there's people out there who've been like, "Oh, this game's never coming out." Me with Star Citizen, I guess. I don't know if Star Citizen will ever relate in the same way.
All right. My metaphor, my mixed metaphor. These, what do you want to call them? These video games, these popular video games, they sell themselves, right? You don't even really need advertising. You never have to advertise them. They sell themselves just like sex or ice cream. You don't have to go, oh my God, we have to convince people to like sex. Are we going to convince people to like ice cream?
Yeah.
Nope. No, none of that necessary. You just put up a sign that says ice cream. People will fucking show up. Same thing.
No, everyone loves to escape into a world where you can commit crimes and kill people and get away from the police, right? All the thrill, that's the thrill that GTA gives you.
Once you got them hooked, like print money. There's your another mixed metaphor. Once you got them hooked, it's like print money. Because you can just, even if you didn't even prove the game, you just release a game and say, there's a new one. People are like, at least it's new. At least it's new. It's not improved, but it's new. And you can say it's improved even if you prove the graphics, right? Hey, look at that. The font.
Look how realistic it looks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. The guy's name is Bill
up.
instead of Tom.
I did look up a conversion from USD to euros, right? Right now, at this current moment.
Changes every day.
But it's enough of a difference, okay? So they're selling, yet again, right? They're selling the normal edition for £70. And they're selling the normal edition for £80, right? Or sorry, 80 euros. 80 euros and 80 USD. So they have USD and euros the same price. And then if you were actually to put 80 USD inside of a calculator, you know what it comes out for in euros? 70. So they, for some reason, are selling it in euros at the same price as USD and not transferring the price to the euro, right? Because it's actually 70 euros. If you were to buy the game in the US, it would be cheaper for you to buy.
Really?
Yeah, it's 70. It's 80 versus 70. Yeah. So
Well,
they're charging
I'm sure it'll be
Europeans 10 extra euros. Because they're charging you the same price as USD.
Don't forget a dollar buys less nowadays. I just looked this up, and did you know in January of 2025, before Trump took office, the euro and the dollar were equal. Now, what is it, 16 months later, the euro is worth $1.14. So the dollar is worth less than what it was. Naturally, because we got a shitty president.
They make these things different prices to make you think that they're actually selling you the game. They're selling you the game in your currency, but they're not selling you the game in your currency. They're selling you the game in US currency and then charging you extra in your currency. Because yet again, right, they're selling the game in 70 Great British Pounds, which is the same, is actually 60. If they were to sell you the game in USD, it would be 60, not 70. So they're charging both the UK and Europe 10 extra currency.
Instead of going on with these numbers that are round and easy to understand, if it costs $100 in Europe, it costs $114 in America. That's what it costs.
Yeah, like I said, 100 extra pound and extra 10 or 15 added onto the price.
14% more is what it costs. It costs 14% more. It's actually that easy to figure out. Yeah, so £1, if you want to buy a £1 note in, I'm sorry, not a £1. You want to buy a €1 note, it's going to cost you $1.04. So your money, United States money, is worth 14% less than it was 16 months ago, which is terrible for our economy because it costs importers more to buy stuff. It makes our stuff more expensive. And it costs me more to go to Europe and spend money because I got to convert. Hey, you know, is that the story? I got you a, what was that, mixed metaphor? I already did it, didn't I? Did I do a mixed metaphor?
I was just, during your mixed metaphor, I was just looking up the conversion. Because I was like, there's no way The euro and the USD are the same price, that they can charge you the same price in both currencies. That's what I was being flabbergasted by.
Yeah, I did two mixed metaphors. Time to end the show.
Our final segue today is
Day in history.
We usually end the show at 2:30 for me, so like an hour from now. So we're actually going really fast.
Maybe it's the heat getting to me. Maybe it's the heat going to me.
Now it's time for me to do some mixed metaphors for this day in history.
All right, good. Mixed metaphor. 1483, Richard Plantagenet. I never always trouble saying that. The Duke of Gloucester began his reign as Richard III after usurping power from his nephew Edward V. 1483, that happened. 1721, with support from the Puritan minister Cotton Mather, Jabdiel Boylston began the first smallpox vaccinations in the American colonies. Yes, smallpox vaccinations were a thing in 1721. If we give everybody smallpox, they'll develop immunity to it. He probably didn't put it in those words, but hey, way to go, Jabdiel Boylston, getting ahead of the science. 1904, Peter Lorre was born. He was first achieved international fame playing his psychotic child murderer in the classic film directed by... What classic film? Doesn't even give you the name of... Oh, the classic film M. Okay. Directed by Fritz Lang. Peter Lorre, I guess, was famous for being the lab assistant Igor for Frankenstein. He's also famous for being that guy in Casablanca. Peter Lorre. I forget his name. 1948, American writer Shirley Jackson's best-known work, the short story "The Lottery," is first published in New Yorker that tells a powerful allegory of barbarism and social sacrifice. I think I read that story in one of my classes. 1974, bass player Peter was born, famous for being a shortstop for the Yankees. Yippity frickin' do. Don't care about Derek Jeter, not even one little bit. Very average player, but he played for the Yankees, so we all got to give a shit on him. 1976, at 1,815 feet, CN Tower is the world's tallest freestanding structure when it opened. It was surpassed in 2007 by Burj Khalifa, or whatever that says.
Khalifa.
And Burj Khalifa and Dubai. So the CN Tower, who cares? It's just a big thing that shows, hey, look at this. I have a small dick. Here's this big thing to show that I don't.
Yeah. Look at the slave labor we used to make a giant building.
Yeah. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I can get an airplane. I can go way taller than that. How about that? And I'm not even rich. And I can just get on an airplane and look down in that tower. Does not impress me. Building things from the ground is not that great. I don't even understand why people think it's that great. Big tower, big tall building. Who fucking cares? 1977, Elvis Presley performed at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. It was his last public concert. He died in August of that year. In 1979, after almost 20 years of professional fights, Muhammad Ali announced his retirement. Way overdue. He was fighting Bum of the Month for a while. 1997, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was published. The book launched the hugely popular series about a boy wizard. And now everybody hates J.K. Rowling. 2013, the United States versus Windsor. The U.S. Supreme Court struck down the provision in the Defense of Marriage Act, which was a stupid act that they tried to pass that was saying, you know what? Marriage is a man and a woman, blah, 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 blah. And like, marriage is a legal contract. That's all it fucking is. Men and women have been getting together without marriage for years and years and years and years and years. We just create a legal contract to make it less messy when they want to break up. And that's all it is. So this Defense of Marriage Act.
And to make sure people get their land and their goats and they get their money or whatever things they trade for a wife.
Based on religious doctrine alone. It's like, if you found somebody that you like enough to live with them, I don't care who they are, go for it. It's your fucking life. It ain't mine. How is it my problem? Anyway, stay out of people's private life, Supreme Court. Stop telling people what to do with their fucking fucking lives. 2015, Ontario-born Connor McDavid was selected first. Who cares? Fucking. How does the NHL draft rate a fucking blur? Who gives a shit? They have a draft every year. Fucking news. In 2015, Obergefell versus Hodges, U.S. Supreme Court ruled that state bans us. Oh, we did that. Why would we do this twice? We did this twice in 2 years. In 2013, they said the gay marriage was good. 2 years later, they reaffirmed it in Obergefell versus Hodges. Justice Kennedy, who's no longer there, had to resign because Trump blackmailed him, and he was replaced by a criminal, which, you know, that's basically 6/9 of the Supreme Court now is just people on the grift. Our national, more birthdays today. Let's do some birthdays today. Babe Dietrich Sings Harris, one of the greatest women athletes of all time. She was born this day in 1911. Abner Doubleday, the guy credited with inventing baseball, was born on this day in 1819. Who else we got? This is just gonna be people I heard of. Roy Campanella was an African-American baseball player, catcher for the, I think it was the Brooklyn Dodgers. He ended up in a car accident in a wheelchair, but he was one of the best catchers in baseball up until then. Milton Glaser, American graphic designer, born June 26, 1929, and he was born again on the 29th. No, he wasn't. It was a long birth. Bill Bronzy, American blues singer. It's his birthday. Don Hudson, the greatest American professional gridiron football player of all time. Green Bay Packers wide receiver, born in 1913. Held the receiving and scoring records for years and years and years after he retired, even into the modern era, before Jerry Rice finally broke them. But they had to change all rules. So I think his records are more legitimate than any of the rule change rules. Those are your birthdays today. National Day today is National Barcode Day. Everybody's got a barcode on something. We're all going to have barcodes on our, they're going to be tattooed on us someday as the dystopian future gets here. National Coconut Day. They'll be barcoding your coconuts, and there'll be a barcode on your coconuts if you buy it.
And drink it all up.
Yeah, the Harry Nilsson song. Mama bought a coconut, she bought it for a dime. She bought another one, say before the lime. You put the lime in the, oh no, you got that in my head. For the rest of the weekend. Thank you. National Beauticians Day. And when you're in that chair with your beauticians, just sing the lime in the coconut song the whole time you're there. Put the lime in the coconut, drink a bowl of it. National Take Your Dog to Work Day. Holy crap. It's National Chocolate Pudding Day. National Chocolate Pudding Day.
Love it.
And of course, if you take your dog to work, don't be a beautician if you're taking your dog to work. It doesn't seem like those two things. Hey, I brought my Rottweiler. Do you mind if he slobbers all over your leg? Sure. I don't care. Anyway, there's your technical glitches. We pulled this thing into the station. Get all your belongings. Get the hell off our train. We're going to fumigate it this weekend because we had a complaint that there was roaches. And then we found out just somebody dropped one of their unfinished joints. So anyway, we're going to fumigate it anyway, just because it has to be done. So get your stuff. Get off the train. That's the end of the week. Everything done, our limericks, all of our technical glitches, our misunderstandings, our miscommunications, everything for 6/6/26, the Palindrome Friday, and National Barcode Day on before chocolate pudding and coconuts. That sounds
delicious.
Awesome. Actually. I want that for dessert. Yeah. And lime. Don't forget the lime. And let's not forget, put a lime in that coconut. Take some lime, squeeze it in that coconut, and drink them both up. Drink them both up. What does that mean?
My mixed metaphor is, for this day in history, is each flight was a heartbeat, illuminating the sky with brilliance in basketball, reminding us to embrace the warmth of life's sweet moments, which would be about the coconut.
That's really, Do you have two of them? Only one. That's cool. All right. Cool.
No, that
we get on
was
with the
3
show.
altogether. That was 3 metaphors altogether.
Oh, okay.
That was
I
3
thought you
things
might
I
have
picked
had
from this
a
day in
whole
history,
over.
and I combined them together to mix it
Right
all up. That was what this day in history was.
Mm-hmm.
In our international
Right on.
UN observances, we have International Day Against Drug
That was my
Abuse
one.
and Illicit Trafficking. Yes, that thing that people use, and what we're talking about in the Afghan story, right? Opium, abusing opium. And it creates persisting issues, new challenges, and we need innovative responses. The global drug use and the number of drugs on the market have been increasing in the past decade, mostly because, in my opinion, it's illegal. If it was legal and regulated, there would be less people doing the drugs. You could also just find out why people were doing them to begin with. You could probably fix societal problems. Say, why do you need to be doing heroin?
Let's not try to fix people. You don't fix people by limiting their choices either.
Exactly.
That doesn't really do it.
United Nations International Day in support of victims of torture. Yep. Remember that waterboarding controversy? Well, maybe you don't because you might not have been alive. But in the early 2000s, there's a waterboarding controversy. Torture is bad. It is useless. It does not actually do anything except for give people trauma, PTSD, and probably end up then killing themselves later. Yeah.
You will say anything to make the torture stop, right?
Including what they want you to say.
How do you know it's true?
Yeah.
Right. You don't even know if it's true. So I would feed them bad information. Just
let's put money into funding rehabilitation and helping those people because there are no excuses for torture, and that is in bold on this
does not
page.
work.
That is in
Hollywood
bold.
That's a Hollywood trope that they should have never had. That torture works. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. Never has.
Tomorrow on Saturday, June 27th, it will be Micro, Small, and Medium-Sized Enterprises Day. Like us, we're a micro enterprise, 2 people running a podcast together.
Speaking of enterprise, I did want to bring this up. I have started a whatchamacallit? What's it called? I just had it in my head. Well, it's on my phone. I can't think of things. Things don't pop into my head. Go ahead, keep talking.
Small, micro, and medium enterprises suffer from many challenges, such as getting a loan, for example, right? Because let's be honest here, when you start a business, most business start with loans. So if you can't even get a loan, how are you supposed to freaking start a business? There's nobody out there who starts a business just from the money in their pocket. A lot of people start businesses without any money in their pocket. And so let's operate a system in which people can start businesses to improve society and their local communities without having to, I don't know, go into drug peddling, for example.
I have started a Substack. That's what I started to promote the channel. I will be publishing articles under my name, Roger at Alley and Rog Podcast. Roger at Alley and Rog Podcast. I could change it. I probably should change it.
You should change it to Before Coffee Podcast. Yeah. So that we have it all in the same place so people can find us on the same, all these different
Let me do
places. that. Originally, I had a thread for the podcast, but I don't know why, but it broke. And it doesn't work anymore. I don't like
Twitter and Threads because it's just blurbs and in Substack, you post articles, right? And you have followers, and it isn't full of trolls, right? No trolling. There's no trolling.
Now.
I've looked at articles, and the trolls are just not allowed. They're just booted the hell off. It's like, you ain't got anything intelligent to say, you don't get to comment. That's all there is to it.
Well, so you're gonna get booted off soon then. Haha, but
That was uncalled for.
You love trolling on social media. What are you talking about?
No, I don't. No, I don't troll anybody. I troll trolls. I troll trolls.
Okay.
I don't troll. That's different than being a troll.
That's still considered trolling.
You don't understand what I do. You think I'm there harassing normal people. I'm here harassing bots and trolls. And just say, why are you here, bot? Why are you here, troll? What are you doing? How does that blankety blank taste, right? Maybe you should swallow that blankety blank before you post next time. You know, that kind of stuff. And they get, because they don't really have an opinion. But on Substack or people who write things, articles that read, like they can be 10 pages, 40 pages, whatever. You can read them or not read them. You can subscribe or not subscribe. If you're not familiar with Substack, that's why I started it, because I'm tired of social media that is just wasting my time. The original social media for me was not all these stupid little 140 character messages that Twitter invented. That was not the original. To me, it was message boards where you talked in real sentences, complete sentences. You had complete thoughts. You didn't abbreviate everything.
And then
That's
people didn't
totally
accuse you of
ruined the
being
discourse.
AI because you use a period in your sentence, which is what happens now, by the way. Why do you
So
sound like
Substack-
AI? Because I know how to write properly.
Substack is where all the intelligent people go. I will say that. And there's no
We
troll.
love,
And I will be there. I will be there.
Yeah,
No, I
hopefully
don't
there's
love trolls.
intelligent
I hate
people.
trolls. Trolls. Yeah. Again, trolls are the bane of our existence. They don't serve any purpose. They don't forward discourse. They just waste your time. And most of them aren't real people.
Okay,
So,
I understand. Can
They're
I
put
finish
out there by nefarious
the
workers.
show now?
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we're off the train. Yeah, finish the show. Anyway, I just sent one point that
We've
out.
crashed the train into the station at this point. It's also recognizing
No, shut up,
deaf blindness on Saturday. So if you know anybody who's deaf and blind, give them the support and give them a pat on the back, because it must be really tough to be both deaf and blind. You can only feel things.
Helen
That's all
Keller.
you can do.
Helen Keller. Helen Keller.
Going to the world using your hands as eyes. There's no International Day on Sunday, it looks like. Yeah, so that is it. So make sure
your dog
you
runs away.
support
Your dog runs away from home.
all those things / stop all those things. And we will
That's
see
a bad
you
job.
on Mucking Fun Day, which is where we're going to tell you all the news you need to hear about that you missed over the weekend. So that means do not doom scroll, do not scroll through all that and those headlines that are trying to get you to, just give up on life, because we will cover it on Mucking Fun Day. Have a good weekend, everyone. If you're not already following Before Coffee Podcast on YouTube or Twitch or both, it would be nice if you could support on both. Then please do that. And also, thank you to all of our Before Coffee supporters on Patreon. And I guess go follow the Substack, which may or may not be called Before Coffee Podcast or Raj and Ali at some point. One of those things. You'll find it there.
We'll put a link up. I'll put a link up once I change it. And once I get on the Substack and start putting articles, it'll be a little bit more streamlined. But the articles are not going to be like, today on this Before Coffee. It's just going to be stuff I write about. And it'll just be generally on shit I write about. Maybe history of my whatever. Yeah. Read it, don't read it, doesn't matter to me.
Our mic drop moment.
So behind me is the iconic skyline of Paris with these grey roofs
How
that
hazy
just stretch
it is.
as
You can
far
tell
as
it's
the
hot.
eye can see. Maybe it conjures up images for you of
Haven't
Emily in
seen
Paris,
the
or perhaps
sky.
Remy, the cartoon rat, running across the rooftops as he chases his dream of being a Parisian chef. But what maybe looks like a dream is a real nightmare when it comes to a heat wave, because the attic apartments,
That's what you need,
they
a
are roasting
pot of
hot, the
glue.
sun baking down on them all day. So
sun
Emily and Francesco have kindly
parasol, that's what
invited
it's
us into
called.
their
Yeah.
little apartment. It's 14
Sun
square meters and
umbrella.
it's just underneath the roofs of Paris. And suffice to say, they've been telling us that in an interview, we're all now desperate to go and have a swim or a cold shower, about how difficult it's been during this heat wave to live underneath these iconic roofs of Paris. There's
At least they have wind. It'd be
130,000
worse if they didn't
roofs
have
in
wind.
Paris, and nearly 3/4 of them are covered with zinc.
Let me
It's a
put on
metal
some
that's very
clothes that
resistant. It can be
Cling
recycled,
to
but
me
it
all
also
day
traps
and don't make
and
me
it
sweat too much.
transfers the heat to little apartments like this. The
Now look
attic
at all those
apartments
zinc
of Paris.
roofs.
Now out here in the sun, the thermometer's giving me a reading of 34
Is this why Northern
degrees.
Europeans
That's
get in saunas in the
approaching
winter
about
time?
100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Is that
But let's
why?
see what happens when we put
Because
it on
there's
No
summer
some
idea.
thought,
That's a
yes.
see whether
specific
that reading
Finnish thing,
changes.
so.
Is it?
Wow, look
Oh,
at that.
damn, that's a hot roof.
43,
I wouldn't even go near it. I wouldn't even touch it.
45. Now I've left this
Wait,
up
you
here for a
start getting
couple of
heat stroke
minutes
at-
and we're
heat
up
stroke
to
at 50, 40
48
degrees.
Celsius. Let's see what
If
that
your
is in
temperature goes that
Fahrenheit.
high.
Oh,
118, nearly 119
yeah, but
degrees
nobody's going to
Fahrenheit.
hang out on the
And it's
roof.
not even the hottest
right
part of
on
the
the
day.
roof. That's
I think
absurd,
that
right?
gives you an idea
You're not
of
going
what
to
it's
sit
like
right there. That's
to
as
both
hot as
work
it gets
on
right there.
But this
and
is where
live
we have
under
to paint all
the
our
zinc
roofs
rooftops
white
of Paris.
so that we push the sun out.
There's a material that you put on the
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.